So in this video, we're going to start by looking at a string. Okay, let me just pull this down below. Okay. So let's study how a string works. So I'll put a comment. So I'll say we're looking at a string. So to make a string, the data type is string. Then I'll give the variable name of my string. Okay, my string. Then I'll make double quotes. Double quotes. I'll say my name is C++ programming. Okay, so C++ programming, like that. Okay, save. So let's try to output that to the screen. I'm going to say cout, and then the name of the variable is my string. Then less than we're going to say end line, and then say save, and then we're going to compile. To compile that, we have my name is C++ programming. Okay, so that's how a string is made. So in a string, whatever you put inside quotes, it's going to be a string. So even if it wasn't letters that we have here, but it's numbers, okay, any random numbers that we put, for as long as they're inside double quotes, they're going to be compiled as a string. Okay, so you can see here, that's not a number, that's a string. It may look like digits, but that's a string. So a string also works with single quotes. If I did this, okay, single quotes are refused. So just strictly use double quotes. Okay, strictly use double quotes for a string and then single quotes for a character. So we're now going to look at the boolean data type. So in C++, to declare and initialize a boolean, you say bool. You don't say boolean, you say bool. You're going to say my bool, boolean. Okay, I will say boolean. This time around it is true. Okay, so we're going to save the true boolean. Okay, then we're going to say cout. We're going to say is true. Then we're going to say end line. Then we compile. So after we compile, we have a 1, because true can also be 1 or an on. Okay, so that's correct. So the second boolean we're going to make is the false boolean. It's going to say is false. It's going to give us a 0. So we're going to say false. I'll close that. Then I'll say cout. Each shift operators. Then I'll say is false. And I'll say end line. Okay, when you compile that one, we're going to have a 0. Okay, so false is a 0 and 1 is a true. Okay, after that we're now going to look at maybe let's look at modifiers. So sometimes you want to look at the first concept of modifiers. Want to look at is a signed and unsigned number in C++. Okay, so what is a signed and unsigned number? So a signed number is a number that accepts both positive and negative numbers. Okay, so if I say signed, okay, let me just say put a random integer. So if I say int my signed is equal to 2020, right? That value. Then I say cout. And I'll say end line. I'll say my signed. Now I'll say end line. Okay. So if I compile this, I'm going to have 2020, right? So if I say negative 2020, I'm still going to have negative 2020. So when a data type or a number can accept both positive and negative numbers, by default everything in C++ is signed. Whenever an integer or a variable is signed, it means that it can accept both positive and negative numbers. So when I compile this, it will still work. Okay, but then if I make an unsigned data type or numeric data type, it's actually a data type that only accepts positive numbers. Okay, it accepts only positive numbers. So if I say unsigned, unsigned like that, if I make this one unsigned, if I try to compile it, I'm going to have it doesn't even display, it doesn't show here. You see, the reason why it doesn't show is because unsigned only shows positive numbers, but yet if I remove the negative and then I compile, okay, we're going to have the result there. So the takeaway is that so signed and unsigned are modifiers. Okay, they're among the few modifiers that you have in C++. So unsigned means a number only takes positive numbers. Unsigned accepts positive numbers. Signed accepts what? Accepts both positive and negative numbers. And the default state for integers or for numeric data types in C++ is what? They are all signed, meaning they accept positive and negative numbers. So in the next videos, we're going to look at other modifiers.